Hey gang, Tony here with another short review for a short film. That should be a thing. I think I'm gonna make that a thing. Short reviews for short films. I like it. I'm gonna do it. I have my notepad here because I take some notes, make sure I don't forget anything. This is another Ricky Bird film through Hectic Films, and it is entitled As the Man Drives. I really enjoyed this one. As you guys might be aware, I've been watching a bunch of the Hectic Films short films over the past, I want to say like week and a half, 2 weeks. Have Naked Zombie Girl review out there and a Familiar Spirit review. If I can remember, I'll put the cards at the top of this video so you can go see those reviews as well. This one is another short film that's going to be at the festivals pretty soon. So we're going to just dig right in here. The synopsis I'm going to keep really short. I don't want to spoil anything major. So we'll just say that the majority of the film is about a man who is driving somewhere with something in his trunk. He's with his partner. They're two crooked cops, and they are driving off somewhere. And there's a lot of internal struggle, a lot of like a real emotional core to this one that I don't want to say I didn't see in the other films, because I totally see the emotional capacity of the characters in the other films as well. But this one is much more emotionally driven, I felt. So we'll start with the beginning. It's a pretty good idea, right? I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'm noticing this every time. I'm kind of liking watching a bunch of Ricky Bird's films and kind of picking out his stylistic traits and stuff. So I've said previously that I notice he likes these kind of long, extended shots. And again, at the beginning of this film, and I have to say, out of all of the movies I've watched thus far, I think this might be my favorite in terms of the extended shot. It is just another beautifully done long shot that kind of goes over the edge of a building. And, you know, it's just really well done. And it's a very cool way to establish a feel for a place and character. We get another long shot of the main character, Hank, standing next to his car. And you could kind of, there's no dialogue yet, but you kind of just tell from there's a little bit of foreshadowing. I guess I could, I'm sorry, I hesitate to say too much, even though it's right at the beginning of this movie. There's a bit of foreshadowing that takes place, but I don't want to say anything more than that. You'll notice on your own. So we have this bit of foreshadowing, and then we have the main character, and we're just kind of watching his facial expressions, and we're watching his reactions, and sort of getting an idea of probably what's going on here. Pretty good idea. From that point, then, he gets in the car, and he starts driving with his partner. Next thing I want to mention is the pacing. Okay, so this kind of goes hand in hand with the long shots and everything. And another stylistic trait that I've noticed in Ricky Bird's films is that the pacing is, I don't want to say, and when I say it's slow pacing, I don't want you to take that as a negative comment. It's not at all. But there is this very like drawn out pacing to the film where he really like takes his time with the shots, and he really sets up a good sense of atmosphere. And I feel like in every movie that I've watched, and this one is no different, you get sort of this creepy vibe from it. The atmosphere, the sense of place and time and characters, all just given the moment to let it really settle in as you're watching. I really enjoy that. So we get Hank driving, and that's really the majority of the film, are these shots, a lot of cool overhead shots and different things of Hank driving. And one of the things that Ricky Bird takes a moment to sort of linger on are the oil fields that they're driving past. And that's mentioned a little later on too. And I might be going overboard a little bit with the analysis at this point. And it could simply have been, you know, it definitely is just giving you an idea of like where he's headed and why he's able to do what he does when he gets there. Because there is a line near the end of the movie that sort of relates back to the oil fields. But I was, thinking probably a little too much about it and analyzing a little too much, I know. And I was thinking about the oil fields and kind of going deep underground and the mining of something underground that's hidden. And the fact that most of this movie is this main character sort of getting deeper and deeper into his own mind and sort of discovering things about himself and things about what he has done that is almost like drilling for oil, or mining for something. So I don't know if that was done purposely, but it's something that I was kind of mulling around my head as I was watching the movie. And along those lines, there's these really cool video effects that they used in the movie that you could say, were similar to some of the other like Grindhouse sort of feeling things in the Naked Zombie Girl, but this time it was more of almost like mental deterioration or the downward spiral, or I don't want to necessarily say descent into madness because it's not quite. I don't know if it goes quite that far, but it's definitely like this fracturing of the mind as he is exploring what has happened and sort of coming to terms with what has happened. And I feel like the video effects are definitely like kind of, you get pieces of his memories, and I feel like that's what was going on there with the video effects. And then hand in hand with that, which I thought was really cool as well, were the sound effects. And the music and soundtrack for the movie is beautiful. It goes really well with the shots and establishing atmosphere. But then there's also, if you've ever gone on a long drive and you have the radio station on, like there are times where whatever station you're listening to starts to fade out and get a little of the static and the crackle, and then you have to try to find a new station. And then depending on where you're driving, sometimes there are large areas where there are no really good radio stations, and sometimes even just like the preachers and things, kind of like AM radio, church sort of stuff. And that is mentioned specifically by the character. However, there's also this underlying, almost subconscious sound effect that plays throughout the movie that is the changing and static of the radio, which again can sort of give you an idea of the length of the drive, where they're driving out towards like desolation, isolation, but also, that fracturing of the mind again, that static, that sort of white noise that is going on in the head, right? Again, I might be overanalyzing this to the nth degree. I don't know. This is what I was thinking and feeling as I watched the movie. All right, so that's really, I know I don't talk much about plot in these short movie reviews, and that's because the plots are very often very compact, and I don't want to give too much away. But if you want to get a pretty good feel for what this movie is like, I will put the link below. There is a teaser trailer on Hectic Films YouTube channel. And again, subscribe to the Hectic Films YouTube channel for more videos, other trailers, and they're going to be doing a lot of stuff over there. Hectic Films also recently has been doing some giveaways on their Facebook page. So I'll put the link for the Facebook page down below as well. You might want to check that out, see if you could get in on some swag. And otherwise, overall, really cool film, very atmospheric, beautiful shots. I think that was my favorite thing of this movie were the shots. There are a number, and a couple of things I can't talk about because of plot points, but just a number of really beautiful shots in this one. So, check out Hectic Films. Again, YouTube channel, Facebook page. Keep an eye out. They're going to be going around to the festival movie screenings and everything, and very soon should be having some stuff available for purchase as well. What you can buy right now is Naked Zombie Girl, so I'll put a link for that as well. Alright everybody, breathe deep in the night. Hope you enjoyed. Take it easy.